I never should have looked at my security camera. I installed security cameras because I thought someone was breaking into my house. I didn't tell anyone that part at first. It sounded paranoid, even to me, but when you live alone long enough, you start noticing patterns, sounds that repeat, things that happen just often enough to feel intentional. My house is old, not historic old, just old enough to feel forgotten. It was built decades before the rest of the neighborhood, like someone dropped it there and then built everything else around it later. Narrow hallways, low ceilings, doors that don't quite close unless you push them. At night it made noise. Houses always do, I know that, but this was different. The sounds felt placed, like footsteps stopping just outside whichever room I was in, like something shifting position when I wasn't looking. So I bought a cheap security camera kit online. 4 cameras, one in the living room, one pointing at the back door, one in the basement, and one mounted high in the hallway outside my bedroom. They all connected to an app on my phone, motion detection, night vision, cloud recordings. I told myself it was for peace of mind. The first few days were boring. Notifications when I came home, when a car drove past and headlights swept across the living room, once when a moth flew too close to the basement camera. I almost forgot they were there. Then, one night around 2:13 a.m., my phone buzzed on my nightstand. Motion detected, basement camera. I stared at the screen for a few seconds before picking it up. I hadn't gone down there all day. The basement door was closed, locked, even. I figured it was the heater turning on or something shifting down there. Still, I opened the app. The basement feed loaded slowly. Grainy night vision, gray concrete walls, old metal shelves, boxes stacked along the far wall. At first, nothing looked wrong. Then I noticed a shadow. It wasn't attached to anything, just an outline, stretched tall along the back wall. Too tall, too thin, and it was moving. Not fast, just sliding inch by inch like it was being dragged across the wall. Nothing else moved, no footsteps, no object casting it. The shadow reached the corner of the wall and stopped. Then the feed froze. The app kicked me back to the home screen like nothing had happened. I sat there for a long time, staring at my phone, trying to convince myself it was a glitch. Compression artifacts, lag, my brain filling in gaps because it was late. The next morning, I checked the saved footage. The alert was there, the timestamp was there, but the clip was gone. The app said no recording available. That should have been enough to scare me into unplugging everything. Instead, I started checking the cameras more often. A few nights later, I was at work when I opened the app out of boredom. I hadn't tapped on any specific camera yet, but the living room feed was already open. That was the first red flag. The living room lights were off. The room was empty except for someone standing near the hallway entrance. They were facing away from the camera. At first, I thought maybe it was a trick of the shadows, or maybe I'd accidentally left the TV on and it was reflecting weirdly. But the longer I stared, the more wrong it felt. The figure was too still. Their clothes didn't look like clothes. No folds, no texture, just smooth darkness shaped like a person. I zoomed in. The image distorted slightly, and that's when the figure moved. They didn't walk. They slid. Straight down the hallway, toward my bedroom. I closed the app so fast I almost dropped my phone. I left work early. I didn't even explain. I just said something came up and drove home with my heart pounding the entire way. When I got there, the house was normal. Front door locked, windows closed, no signs of anyone being inside. I checked every room, closet, bathroom, basement. Nothing. That night, I slept with the lights on and the camera app open on my phone. Every noise made my heart jump. Every shadow looked suspicious. At 2 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Motion detected, bedroom hallway camera. The feed showed the hallway outside my room. Empty. Then the camera angle shifted slightly. Just a few degrees upward, like someone had nudged it. The feed centered directly on my bedroom door. Something pressed against it from the other side. Not a hand, not a face, just a dark bulge stretching the wood outward like whatever it was didn't understand the shape of a door, only that something was blocking it. The doorknob turned halfway, stopped, then slowly turned back. The pressure vanished, the door went flat again. The camera snapped back to its original position. The feed cut to black. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, I packed a bag and went to stay with a friend. I didn't explain much, just said my house was freaking me out. Before I left, I unplugged every camera. I even unscrewed the hallway one and left it on the counter. I deleted the app from my phone. That night, at my friend's place, I finally relaxed. Until my phone buzzed. Motion detected, living room camera. The camera was unplugged. I reinstalled the app with shaking hands. The living room feed came up instantly. It was dark. The front door was open. And the camera was pointed directly at the couch, at the spot where I usually sat at night. Something leaned into frame. It didn't have a face, just a deeper darkness where one should have been, like a hole punched through the image. My phone vibrated. Text appeared on the screen. "You look more when you are afraid." Another message followed. "You invited me when you watched." The feed switched. It was my bedroom. At my friend's house. I was asleep on the bed. The camera angle was wrong. Too high, too close to the ceiling. I don't own a camera there. The figure stood beside the bed, perfectly still, watching. I threw my phone across the room. I moved out of that house a week later. New phone, new number, no cameras. But sometimes, late at night, my screen lights up for no reason. No notification, no app open. Just a black screen that faintly reflects something tall standing behind me. I never should have looked at my security camera.